You're watching this trial unfold, and now we've got Judge Whitaker in there. What are your first thoughts? Like, what are you thinking about, the district attorney Willis, the prosecution team, the judge, the defense? From an outsider, give us your assessment. What is happening with this YSL RICO trial? Will it end anytime soon? Is there any way out of this?
I mean, up until recently, it's really just been embarrassment, because Fulton
Right.
County everyone's watching. And, when I'm in court and the news is watching, I make sure, I try to be professional all the time, but if the world is watching, this is a glimpse into the justice system. And if we don't have faith in our justice system and how it works, then we've got a big problem. So, I think it's unfortunate because it's embarrassing. I tried in 2022, I tried a case that was the largest case file in Georgia history. So it was investigated by the GBI. It was the largest case file to date. I tried it in 3 weeks.
Wow.
If you can try the largest case file in Georgia history in 3 weeks, why are you taking, we're going to be at 3 years soon in YSL,
Right.
And so every time I see it, I'm like, why are we going over? Why do we have a witness testifying for 3 days about some marijuana? Why? Because Paul Howard had this case. So this case was being investigated by Paul Howard originally, so just to give you some Fulton County history.
Paul Howard, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me give you some history because, I live here. So I'm like, I know these people.
Yeah.
So Paul Howard was a very long time district attorney in Fulton County. Okay. So it's important, I think, to know the history here.
Before Fannie Willis, right?
Yes. She worked for him.
Okay.
So she worked for him until she decided to run for judge. When she decided to run for judge, he said, you can't run for judge and work for me. So you got to go. So she left, entered private practice, ran for judge and lost. Then she decided to take his job. She decided to run against him. And it's interesting because he was embroiled in controversy. He had some lawsuits, some sexual harassment suits, mismanagement of funds, things like that.
It's Fulton County.
It's like, that's what's crazy. So we all were really supportive. I supported Fannie Willis. Like we all supported her, because Paul.
You were friends with her, correct? Before all this?
Very much.
Yes. I want to talk. We'll talk about that soon. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
And, so Paul Howard had these problems, but why I bring it up is he had this case. All of these facts are not new, the YSL case. This is all old allegations.
Wow.
So, and he had decided not to prosecute it. And he was pretty vocal about why. He said, you can't trust Woody. I'm not going to bring a case where the witnesses aren't trustworthy. So he didn't want to do that. So all of this investigation was all done before Miss Willis took office. So she takes office and she's like, I'm going to go ahead and prosecute it. And it was a very, very contentious decision. There's a lot of people that used to work for her office that don't anymore, that didn't necessarily agree with her opinion. And this is, Georgia's big, Atlanta's big, but our legal circle is not. So, everybody talks. So, I'm friends with a lot of people that have worked on this case that no longer are at her office. And, I've got this firsthand knowledge from these folks that, Paul Howard didn't think that there was enough to prosecute this case. And he didn't want what's going on right now when you've got someone who's a proven liar up on the stand. You can't believe anything they say. He didn't think that was enough to prosecute. He wasn't going to hang his hat on that. But we've got a difference. And it's unfortunate, but we've got a DA who wants to show she's tough on crime, wants to show she's tough on gangs. And this was the poster case for that. The problem is you've got to know when to stop.
Into the court. Okay. And to counsel for the defense regarding her requested changes.
Okay, well.
Or he is, or however.
I'm going to hope that we don't end up calling another attorney to the
Judge, I didn't want to call the first one.
I didn't really go that well for you ultimately. I don't know.
Well, see. We'll see.
Okay.